Hello everyone and welcome to the Smashi Business Show. Today is Monday, a fresh new Monday, August 4, 2025, and I'm Abdul Majid Awan.
And I'm Wuilt Ahmed, and we've got a packed show for you today. So first up, Egypt-based Wuilt has raised $2 million to scale its free e-commerce platform across the MENA region. And secondly, Orascom Construction is to delist from Nasdaq Dubai and move primary listing to Abu Dhabi. And thirdly, Kim Kardashian's Skims is to open its first UAE store, its first store in the Middle East at Mall of the Emirates. And finally, Filmmakers reject Mubi's $100 million Sequoia deal over Israeli military tech ties.
And the very first story today is a very nice startup, Cairo-based startup, Wuilt. Again, name play, I love it. Built. Wuilt has secured $2 million in funding from investors, including Flat 6 Labs, MTF VC, Hub 71, and Jimco. The raise follows Wilt's strategic decision in April 2025 to make its platform completely free in Egypt, removing subscription fees to attract more users.
So since the pivot, over 20,000 merchants have joined Wuilt's ecosystem. Now the company earns revenue through value-added services such as Wuilt Shipments, Wuilt Pay, and Wuilt Wallet, rather than traditional subscriptions.
And Wuilt was founded in 2019 by Ahmed Rustam, Mahmoud Matwali, and Mohammad Hijazi, three founders, motivated by the difficulties small businesses faced building Arabic websites. They created a tool often described as the Canva for Arabic websites, letting users build Arabic sites in just minutes.
So the company's goal is to democratize digital commerce across emerging markets. Now, its people-first strategy aligns with a broader push to support local businesses and social sellers through simple, scalable infrastructure.
And next up is a UAE launch, set for Q4 2025, this year, end of year, with plans to expand across the GCC and Turkey by early 2026. Wuilt is also working on AI-powered tools to help merchants manage operations more effectively. It's a very nice startup because I think it will help beat Shopify in the region. I think there is one called Sela. I think Rich mentioned it. But Sela is also like that. So it's very simple. They're just building a platform where you can go, you can build your website, Arabic website, easily. And I think in the recent time, I've seen a lot of focus from the MENA developers, from the MENA startups, to make very Arabic things, right? You see everything that you see right now, the biggest ones, the biggest things that you can use for your businesses are all English first, English primary. And every startup founder has seen that there is a gap in the Arabic market. There is a gap where Arabic first platforms are not there.
Yeah.
And this is one of the examples.
Look, honestly, I don't see what they're exactly doing as simple, and I'll tell you why, Majid. I know that a lot of business owners don't exactly operate for, for humanity or for some humane purpose or the highest form of things, but these three founders here, Ahmed Rustam, Mahmoud Mitwalli, and Mohammed Hijazi, what they're doing is, if you think about it, it's truly so amazing because the product is for the people. These three friends came together and realized that no, business owners in Egypt, in Cairo, they should have very easy access to actually building websites. That's what their entire platform Wuilt is. So to have that kind of social purpose, I think it's something so beautiful to have, and it really does honestly remind me of Melanie Perkins. So Melanie Perkins is the founder of Canva, and I find her story particularly amazing because of the fact that Melanie was rejected by 100 investors before she actually received any funding from Canva. And today, Canva is valued at over $20 billion. I mean, that is absolutely insane. So what they're doing, I think it will pay off at some point. I know that, there might be some investors who would think it is an absolutely stupid idea for them to make this product accessible and free for everyone. But I think what they're doing, like, it's honestly rooted at such a socialist cause.
Yeah.
It's so important to create products that everyone has access to. It really, really is. And you know, the fact that they're building something that is for Arab users, again, once again, it reminds me of Humane from Saudi Arabia. So it's their very recently launched artificial intelligence company that's basically there to build the ChatGPT for the Arab world. So then you have this one that's like the Canva for Arabic websites. And I think these products existing in our own language for our own people, it is so important because you know, these Arabic speakers do exist, and that space for them, it must be allowed, and it's so important.
Yeah, and she gave 2 examples. We did a story on Friday about Anghami called the Spotify of the Middle East. So it's very nice to see that all these guys, they know the market and they are coming up with filling the gap in the market. They are not like, oh, this is something we'll just copy paste. Take it, localize it, and then sell it, and you will get. The pivot part was very interesting that in April 2025, they made it completely free. I think in the start it was subscription based. You can use basic stuff even with a subscription, yearly, monthly, quarterly, whichever one you can buy. But then they were like, not working, we're not getting enough people. They made it completely free. And then the added value, like, oh, if you want to add this functionality or this, if you want to add a payment option, that is paid. So that gives you, I think, a basic startup, a basic company, which is, I think, for example, let's take an example. If someone is selling shirts, printed shirts, you can print something. They can make a basic website using it. They don't need to pay. And I think that is why they got 20,000 people on it now. Very nice pivot, very nice idea. I don't know how it will affect their revenue. I think it will grow because I personally feel, even if you use Canva free, you go to Canva, there comes a point where you're like, maybe if I had a paid option, I could have added this graphic, I could have added this video. Same with other softwares that we use in the company as well, right? If you use the free version, sometimes you're like, maybe we should have had the paid one. Even CapCut, to an extent, CapCut is very great. Like, it's one of the best simple editing softwares I've used.
Edits yet.
Yeah,
I honestly
and
can't.
then you're like, okay, maybe if I had a paid CapCut, I could have added this new thing or that extra element. So it's good that they're doing this. Let's see how it works for them.
I definitely think they will grow because if you look at the investors that they're getting, there was another round that they've led before previously in 2020 where they raised over $500,000, and that round was led by UK-based MENA Technology Fund and Saudi's Dow VC. So the fact that they have UK investors pitching in, Saudi investors that are pitching in, you know that, and you know, if you think about it from a global perspective, you know that if this many investors are involved, then there's certainly a very good product here that is going to grow more.
Yeah. I was just looking at some of the competitors. Obviously, they're entering a market. It's never a free market. It's never the first idea. I think there is another one, Expand Card. The last they raised was 2.5 million in 2020. They're very old in the market. They're a Cairo-based e-commerce platform. They allow merchants to build online stores and websites also. So I think that was only in English. Their USP is, Wuilt's USP is that they are Arabic first, Arabic primary. Apart from that, the globally in the Middle East region, I think Wix is the biggest one. Again, very English first, very English primary. Arabic UX is non-existent on it. It gives you help with Arabic through multilingual functionality. But again, not Arabic first. So they have a very great USP that they can use, capitalize on. I hope they become $1 billion unicorn soon.
I hope
That's
so
the best
too.
thing we can say about that. Any startup that comes in front of us, we're like, soon, bro, go for it, go for the unicorn
soon is not
status.
always the best thing.
Yeah,
we saw that with Swivel, you know, they got that unicorn status, and then it just completely.
I think
what is the best
COVID
way
to an
say
extent was the reason. Then there's so many reasons. The great story about Swivel is always the rebound, how they came back. So even if someday someone asks me about Swivel, I will always say their rebound, their comeback was bigger than what they actually built. Obviously, they saw a gap. It was very big gap. They solved it. Swivel came to Pakistan as well. So I remember a lot of people, because we have a very big public transport problem. They came, people loved it. Like, you wouldn't, so you can book a seat in a whole big van, right? people couldn't find space. It was so full. So obviously they were going good. But I think COVID and distancing and all that was one of the reasons. Other reasons, the founder can tell us someday if we meet him and ask him. But mainly the reasons are that they rebounded great. Love that. That's.
And they're expanding into the UK right now.
It's actually, when heroes fall and come back, that's the actual point in the movie or anything that you see. You're like, okay, this is the moment. Any superhero story, any normal human hero story, the moment the hero comes back, that's the best. Have you seen Batman? The trilogy?
Course.
The moment he comes back, he climbs the wall, he comes out and becomes a better Batman. That's
Majid,
the thing, I think that's the idea.
I don't think of it like that. For me, like, I think a great example of a company that just comes to mind with how they've scaled, it's Kahlo. Because Kahlo right now, it's Bahraini born and Saudi headquartered, and it's by Ahmed and Muayyad. And the entire company right now is valued at $400 million.
Nice.
And if you think about everything they've done so far, they've expanded into the entire GCC. They're already in the UK. They've acquired 2 of the largest food fintech platforms there. They've done all of that, and it's remained at $400 million. Nice. So what is that telling us? That's telling us that, number one, they're not trying to expand extremely quickly. Number two, they're probably paying their employees pretty fairly. You know, you don't hear any rumors that are amiss
this
about
is wrong,
Kahlo.
that is wrong.
And I think for me, I've reached a point where when I find out that like a company is a unicorn after like 3 years, I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Something is right. Something is wrong. Whoever is writing off those books, there's just something amiss here. It's too good to believe.
After the Builder AI story,
not
right?
just even Builder AI, like Adam Newman.
Yeah, that
with
guy
his
also.
Flow real estate company that just launched in Riyadh. So apparently, Andreessen Horowitz, he invested in it, and after 3 months of launching, which he said himself on a podcast, the company's at over $1 billion. Okay, fine, but like, what achievement did you get? You just received money from someone else that made the valuation really big. Does that necessarily mean that the business is doing great? I'm not so sure.
That's a good question.
I'm not
we
so sure.
We should dig deeper into Flow. The WeWork thing that Adam Newman originally started and saw a big crash and he was kicked out of the company. That's a whole story as well. We'll someday discuss it. But next up is one of the giants of the Egyptian economy, the richest man in Egypt, and a company that he majority owns, Orascom Construction. It's by the richest man, Nassif Sawiris. 3 brothers, Sawiris family. Their father started it. The 3 brothers are running the empire. And the company, Orascom Construction, is shifting its primary share listing from Nasdaq Dubai to the Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange, which is ADX. The company announced the move following a July 27 board meeting and says the transition is pending shareholder and regulatory approval.
So the Abu Dhabi shift positions ADX as Orascom's principal trading venue, while the Egyptian exchange will remain as secondary listing. So this move aligns with Sawiris' growing ties to the UAE. So his family office, NNS Group, is now based in Abu Dhabi after relocating from the UK amid changes to their UK tax policy.
Nassif Sawiris, who also chairs OCI, Orascom Construction something, one of the world's largest nitrogen fertilizer producers, has also been steadily pivoting towards the Gulf. Obviously, everyone is. He owns plants in Texas and Iowa, holds a 6% stake in Adidas, like global stake, and co-owns Aston Villa Football Club, reinforcing his global investment footprint.
So the decision to delist from Nasdaq Dubai and anchor in ADX reflects a broader trend of regional capital market consolidation. So for Orascom Construction, it's a strategic bid to access deeper liquidity and institutional capital in the Gulf as Abu Dhabi cements its role as the richest city in the world. Now, to me, this decision does make a lot of sense. In Abu Dhabi, you have access to investors who have more wealth. But, just speaking generally of Nassif Sawiris and where he's been very recently, we know that he moved from the UK to Italy because of a change in their tax policy where he would be taxed on his belongings more. And honestly, this brings me to my point of something that I love about these billionaires. Wherever they are not accepted, whatever is not suitable for them, they will pack up and they will go. Very quickly.
And take all the money.
very promptly they will pack up and they will go. And it's like just recently we also covered this British man, I believe Fredrickson.
Yeah.
Do you? Yeah.
John Fredrickson. Yeah.
Yeah, John Fredrickson. We just recently covered him, and he basically just packed everything from the UK. He's selling one of his mansions, and he's coming to the UAE. And it kind of brings me to this point, Majid, of like, imagine if poor people and middle class people behave the way that these billionaires did, and in a lower scale, in the sense of if your employer does not treat you the way that you want to be treated, will you just pack up and will you go? What do you think about that?
The operational problems middle class or lower middle class person or a poor person faces, one, visa, to having a passport. So it's a lot of problems for them. I think richest people will always move. In terms of lower and poor people, I've realized it's never the money that moves, it's the human capital that moves. The brain drain, basically, the idea of brain drain. For example, if someone is earning a minimum wage, just making ends meet, if their kids get educated, obviously they run out of the country. They go to some other country. We've seen that with Syria, we've seen that with Lebanon, we've seen that with a lot of regional countries where there were so many conflicts for so many years that all of these people, they chose UAE, they chose Saudi Arabia, they went to Egypt even, because they couldn't do anything in their country, they can't build wealth, they can't be successful. Whatever they try to do is either kicked down by the government or the policies or corruption. There's like 1 million reasons. So I think at the higher level, the billionaire level, the rich people level, they just pick up and leave all their money and they domicile in some other country, like now Italy is my home base or this is my home base.
Majid, I don't even think of it as just like moving from one country to the other, like the brain drain as you referred to it. But I also think of it as this very simple concept of, what if people of a lower class actually applied that same concept of, this is something that is not working out for me, let me move to the next company. And I know what you're thinking, what is she on about? I have an uncle, and he is absolutely hilarious, Majid. He moves jobs every 3 months. I'll tell you what he does. No, I'll tell you what he does. At the slight inclination of somebody's rude voice, or at the slight disrespect, it could be the most minute situation ever. He will pack up and he will go. And he will get a new job in like about 1 week. He is so very quick about it, quick about it. The self-confidence is crazy. He is like, this is disrespectful, I'm not staying here, and I'm gone. And I know some people might be thinking, like, why are you mentioning this? I know that a lot of people have like this very cemented fear of like leaving their jobs.
Yeah.
They do, like, this fear of, what if I lose my job? And it's like, it's playing in their mind all the time. But like, what if you operated this way? The same way that billionaires know their value and they will just pack up and they will leave. What if people actually acted this way?
Depends on the market. Or depends on the skill that you have. If you have a very limited, very rare skill or very in-demand skill, right now AI programming this, that, I 100% think you'll get a job the next day, not even a week. But if you have a skill which is outdated, which doesn't equate to a lot of jobs, for those people, I think staying at one position, going through years and years, just trying to make a position, I think that's the very basic idea of what I always tell my cousins and whoever comes up to me and be like, bro, what do we do? How do we go in a company, make an impact, and stay there and like do meaningful work? That's the main thing right now. So I always say, go inside a company, spend 1 or 2 months, see the environment, and like you go and start a startup, right? If your brain is like, oh, no, I can't start a company, I'll work. Like a startup, find a gap in that company. Find a gap, say, oh, this thing is not happening in this company, or this thing doesn't exist. I will take ownership of it and I will make my small shop inside that company, and this is what I will take ownership of. So once you do that, to be honest, a lot of people take notice of it. The owners will take notice, your managers will take notice that this small thing, whenever you talk about that, you'll think of that person.
But Majid, I'm not asking you how to become noticeable. I'm asking you, should you accept disrespect in the workplace? Should you still stay?
Disrespect, no. I think never. The only thing that you should expect is respect, because you're working. It's a very basic how do you say, it's a basic transaction. You give me money, I do the work. This is the basic transaction. Apart from that, if you want more, obviously managers push you. Everyone will push you to do more. But there's a borderline. There's line. This is disrespect and this is pushing you. And it's a very thin line, and that is where managerial skills, all the things that come. So it's a line. Either you don't never cross it, or you stay on the very edge and keep pushing, like, oh no, we can do this. Oh no, we can do this. Oh, you can do this. You should do this. Depends. And depends on the person, I think. Every person has a different threshold, right?
I completely agree with you. And I feel like this threshold that you're talking about, it's defined by you. Because you know how, like, in the end of the day, say, I don't know, you're an 8 to 5 employee, 9 to 6. Technically, those hours, the time that you're coming in, that time is your employer's money. But I think a lot of people don't realize that your own time is also your money. It honestly is. And how you choose to spend your time and everything that you do outside of work, it will define your career's trajectory. So I think my largest piece of advice for people is also prioritize your time.
Yeah, obviously.
I think that is so important, and I think a lot of people don't do it, or they don't do it well.
Yeah. It's a very tricky situation. To be honest, I'll give you UAE's example. It's not a negative example. It's a very simple example. In UAE, there's so much talent surge right now. There's like, if you leave one job, there's like 100 people better than you, not even equal to you, better than you waiting for that opportunity. The problem comes that the employers recognize this. Employers eventually know that no one is indispensable. This person leaves, I have 1 million people to choose from. Now, in those situations, someone leaving a job, in their brain, they know that, oh, if I leave, there is a 90% chance I may get a job. There's a 10% chance. Maybe there is a 50-50 chance that I can get a job in a week, 2 weeks, 2 months. What if I don't? But in the employer's mind, he knows that he can replace you within seconds. And that is why, I always joke about it, right? Whenever I'm doing something, I always think of it like, what if I die tomorrow? What will happen? How will things run? So you need to have systems in place. So any person who comes, he can just come in, sit and realize.
Think of how things will run if you die, Magic.
It's just an example I give. It's because you can say, oh, I can be sick for 2 days, I can take a leave. It's just my way of processing it, or just having like a joke around it, that what if I'm not there this very next second? Right now, if I'm not there for the next second, how will things run? And that is where systems come in, that, oh, everything is in place. The new person, whoever comes, within a day, you're replaced. Trust me. I've worked for a company for 12 years straight in Pakistan. I was replaced within a day. So it's never like you are indispensable. The thing that I find quite interesting is that you just need to put in systems if you care about the company. If you've actually spent a good time, like I spent a very good time, and that is why I spent 12 years as a single company, because constant growth, constant everything was there, and I was motivated to stay there. The thing is that you put systems in place, so humans stop mattering. I know humans matter at the end of the day, but any new person can come in within a week, transition into those systems, understand, okay, this happens, this goes here, this is step 2, this is step 3, this is step 4. Once the system's in our place, actually the manager's job also becomes easy. Whereas for me, I will sit back, any new person who joins the team, I'll be like, this is a document, this is stepwise thing, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how we do stuff. If you want something new, obviously spend 1 or 2 months, see if you can find a gap in that system, or if you can remove one step from that system. For example, the Dreamers videos that we do. I'll give you a very simple example. In the start, I was checking your scripts. Now I just look at them. There was a time. Now, why? Because you know the steps. You have to send it to Yusuf. He will make it. You'll give him the basic this. I know you're part of the system. You've understood the system. My job becomes easier. Likewise, you someday, if you're talking to an intern, I think one of the interns that came, what was her name? The intern, the style intern.
There were a lot of interns.
Yeah, there's a lot of interns. We always have a lot of.
Are you talking about Zeba?
Zeba, yes. Zeba, I remember I told you, like, just help her understand basic Smashi things. So you will also find it soon enough, obviously, that when you have systems, your job becomes easier in a leadership role. So yeah, very different conversation, but the idea is, the basic core conclusion. Some people are stuck in a job because their market, their work that they do is not very job findable. You can't go out and just pick a job. So either get skills
I think
updated.
it depends on you. I really do think it depends on you.
To be honest, there is no jobs in the market when there is such a big talent pool.
I know.
That is a problem.
That is exactly why you should work on building your own personal profile, your own personal brand, your own personal network. We all know that, especially in the Gulf, to be honest with you, in the world, the way that things work, Majid, is that they work through wasta.
Yeah,
I will give you a really good example. If you take a look at Khalaf al-Habtour's business, Khalaf al-Habtour is one of the most important billionaires in the building of the UAE itself. But if you take a look at him, who is his head of media? It's a lady called Noor al-Badawi, right?
Yeah.
You'll notice how this lady is the only person who will interview Khalaf al-Habtour.
Yeah.
And at some point, even I thought she was a journalist. No, she's not. If you actually take a look at it, Majid, Noor al-Badawi's sister is the head of EISJ, Emirates International School Jumeirah, and Emirates International School Meadows.
Okay, and that's run by?
Her sister, who used to run the hotel operations for Al-Habtour Group in Lebanon. Now, she's the head of both schools. They're both sisters. Are you seeing what I'm trying to tell you?
Yeah.
Is that, yes, jobs are replaceable, of course, but the kind of relationships that you can build in life are not replaceable whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think that it all comes down to you as a person and how you value yourself and what opportunities you think that you can
that's
get.
also a skill.
I think if you have a victim mentality and you're constantly thinking, no, nothing will ever work out for me, that is not true.
Yeah.
You need to build that network.
Yeah.
And of course it's a skill, but no, one really special bond can get you further than knowing 20 people who don't do anything for you. Does that make sense? I think that's the way that I'm thinking about it, but just back to our stories today.
Suggestion, make wasta.
No,
My suggestion,
build your
wasta
own
will get you.
brand.
To be honest, I think it will work for you. It's very common concept here. It's an unsaid rule that you should have someone. But I think it gets you to that chair. How you survive in that chair is your skill. If you don't have the skills that are needed for that job, there will become a point that Wasta will be like, thank you so much. I got you in that position, but now you need to do the work. And that is what ultra hyper capitalist, a very highly growing economy like UAE, Saudi Arabia even, Qatar gives you. You can't just sit on your laurels, past laurels that, oh, I've done this, so I can do this great. You have to constantly wake up every day, work hard, and then you survive. Otherwise, it's such a big talent pool that is just waiting for an opportunity to work in your place, to work better than you, to work at half a salary, to be honest, even that.
And those
in
are
the media industry,
people that have destroyed the job market, by the way.
It's not their problem. It's
is
actually
their problem.
the concentration of talent.
They accept less money and they
if
do
you
more.
were in that position and you were offered a job 1,000 less than the last person leaving, you would also take it. It just depends on which situation you are in. If you're privileged enough, I'm not saying privileged in a negative connotation, privileged as in you have a home, you have food to eat twice a day, not thrice even, twice a day, you have a shelter at your home, someone is providing it for you. It's very easy sometimes to not take a job, who will work for 3,000 dirhams? But some of the people actually use that money to run their houses. It's very complicated. It's a very individual to individual case. I always get this. I always find people who are like, oh, these people came, this nationality came, this blah person came. They took 5,000 for the job that I was getting 10,000 for, and they ruined the market. You look at their position from there, like stand in their shoes, and you'll be like, in 5,000, he's running a family back home of 4, and he's fine with it. So depends. It's very complicated. You can't pass a judgment on this that, oh, these people destroyed the market. It's just the talent pool is so big that people are just ready to come here. They will work for anything just to stay in this country, because what this country provides you, apart from salary, safety, security, 10,000 other things that their country is not providing.
Yeah.
It's a problem of their country not creating jobs and then coming here.
But just speaking of things
Yeah.
that are being provided for the first time ever, Skims, Kim Kardashian's viral shapewear and lifestyle brand, is going to be provided in the GCC, specifically in the UAE, with its first physical store at Mall of the Emirates. So until now, Skims was mainly available online in the region through UNAS, the luxury e-commerce platform launched in 2016 by Khalid Al Tayer and under Al Tayer Group.
And Al Tayer Group is a powerhouse in the UAE retail, holding franchise rights for global names like Prada, Balenciaga, and Bloomingdale's. Adding Skims to its portfolio strengthens its role as a tastemaker in the region, bridging international fashion with Middle Eastern shoppers' evolving tastes.
So the Mall of the Emirates store will give UAE customers direct access to Skims' most sought out after collections, from their bodysuits to their loungewear sets. So the move brings the brand's digital buzz into a real-world luxury setting, reflecting its growing demand for immersive retail experiences.
And this marks a major moment for UAE fashion retail, with Skims joining the physical landscape. As regional consumers look for both global trends and local accessibility, the launch is expected to boost foot traffic and further elevate Mall of the Emirates as a key destination for lifestyle and fashion. It already is.
Yeah, I remember I said this before, how, like, you know, when Skims was founded, it had a very rocky start.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian had originally called it kimono, and that caused a lot of people to be really angry with her. They called her insensitive. She does come off as insensitive.
Yeah.
You remember that there
did
was
the
this
story,
piece
yeah.
that I wrote, and when somebody yelled at her "Free Palestine," she yelled back "Free everybody." So I don't think that's the best thing ever, but I still think that what she's done, bringing the store here, it's amazing. Because,
Yeah.
by the way, her sister Kylie, she has Kylie Cosmetics. Kylie
Yeah.
Cosmetics was founded in 2014.
It's at Sephora, right? You can find
Kylie
it.
Cosmetics, no, you can't find it easily. You have
No?
to order it online. And this is what I mean. Skims was founded like way later.
Nice.
And Skims has found a way to already start opening stores, especially in
Yeah.
this region. And Kylie Cosmetics has not done that. So I think
So you
that
can't buy Kylie at Sephora?
no, you can't. You have to order it online. And so this
Nice.
is what I'm saying. Kim Kardashian has come, further along, more so than her
Yeah.
sister. She is opening the store here, but the real question is, do you think that she can, she can fly in the radar of Huda Kattan and Muna
Yeah.
Kattan and do just as a great job as they do, because they understand the region.
Yeah.
They speak out against the genocides in the region. They're
Yeah.
for the people, and they create products that are for everyone. And I'm just interested to see how that dynamic is going to work.
I just think it's if she came directly, right, without any help from Middle Eastern UNAS, Al Tayer Group, then she would have been shut out. I think she would have done good in the start because people are crazy about her, all these things.
Skims is really good, by the way. It's
my wife
really,
uses
really
it. A lot of other women I know use it, so I know the product is good. They got this new Phase One thing.
I did not
That's
see
not
that.
part of the Skims.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
There's a
Majid.
face thing I saw recently. I sent someone a reel about it. I think it was a Skims, a product of Skims where they have a face shaper which you wear and sleep.
Oh, you're 100% right.
Right?
They do have that.
I think Farah showed me that, she's launched this, and I saw a reel about it. Very weird reel. The guy who was in the Lamb, what was the name of the movie? A very famous guy, I'll tell you. Anthony Hopkins. He was wearing it, and I remember he was a man-eater in some movie, and he had this lisp. He used to do that, and he was wearing that and doing that, and I was like, what is he doing? So he was actually making fun of the product. It's a face shaper.
Look, I think that she's taking advantage of women's insecurities.
Yeah.
That
I
people
think
want
the whole
sharper
makeup, whole
jawlines.
shapewear industry is based on insecurities. Everything is based on insecurities in the makeup industry, I think. Oh, your lips are not good color. Use a color. Your eyes don't look good with eyeliner.
That is not how it works. That is not how it works.
I've read a lot of literature.
It's to enhance appearance, Majid. But
Thank
in
you.
this
I
specific
don't
case,
use any of this.
I think that product was not necessary, but she knows.
Yeah.
I think she probably does know how a lot of people buy gua shas, I
Yeah.
believe is what
The
they're called.
thing, right?
So she knew that
Face shaper.
this product could sell. But I
And
don't
it
really,
will.
I am really excited to see her here, though.
Yeah, but the physical store, I think, great idea, because I still think people who order it online sometimes have a problem with size or this and that. It's always good to have touch anything and then buy it,
it
right?
always runs out of stock. On Unas,
Oh.
the Skims like tops, the famous tops, they're always out of stock. Every single time
it's
I
good to
want
have a store,
exactly.
right?
Every single time I want a specific color, it's not there. So
Weird.
it will be nice to see that.
Very good
and
move. I think they saw that there is demand, and that is why they're investing
Yeah.
in a physical store, because a lot of people are moving actually away from physical stores. Go to Ibn Battuta Mall or go to any place where there is a Forever 21, they're shut down. In the UAE, the shutters are down because across the globe, they've gone bankrupt and their physical stores are now closed, but they're going all digital now to survive. So it's very rare that someone is opening a physical store. And I think UAE, Saudi, all these places have the luxury buying money. That is why this is coming here. They know the money is there and they know the demand is there. People will buy it. Yeah. And next up, as we always say, that we want to highlight what's happening in Gaza. So we try to add one story at least about what's happening in Gaza. So we try to find a business angle on those stories. And one of the stories that we found over the weekend was global filmmakers have rejected Mubi's $100 million investment from Sequoia Capital, citing the firm's links to Israeli military tech companies tied to the genocide in Gaza, obviously. Directors like Radu, Jude, Joshua, Oppenheimer, Aki Kaurismäki, and Sherian Dhabi. I know they are very difficult names to pronounce, and some of them you won't know, but you will know their work, obviously. Signed a letter condemning the deal as indirect participation in a genocide.
So the letter calls on Mubi to honor its mission of supporting independent cinema and resisting corporate dominance. So Mubi responded that the funding does not reflect its views, but has made no move to reverse the decision, where raising concern about its ethical positioning in the creative community.
And the backlash comes amid broader scrutiny of Sequoia Capital's political ties. Its partner, Sean McGuire, very famously, we covered him a lot when he said those Islamophobic things. Recently, he made an anti-Muslim remark targeting New York City politician Zohran Mamdani, fueling outrage in the startup and creatives world.
You know, you even had Wamda Capital's Fadi Gandour leading a petition against Sequoia, now signed by over 1,000 people, including companies like Kareem and Tabi. So the controversy has reignited debate about ethical funding in both tech and film, which Mubi caught at the intersection. But I think with this entire story, I think it's really important that you hold people accountable, and I think that I'm really glad to see that Sequoia Capital is actually receiving that backlash. It's important because I don't think until now that they've actually issued an apology. I don't think Sean McGuire. He did issue an apology.
It wasn't an apology.
It's the most horrible apology to ever exist. And you know, these people do need to be called out, because how do you have someone like Sean McGuire on X talking about how starvation that is going on right now, it's not real.
It's a genetic thing and weird comments. Right?
And then you have him like literally plucking the intern of Zohran Mamdani to say that, she's a jihadi. Like, you know, this is completely unacceptable behavior, especially from a partner, especially from a very important investor. And it's nice to see that people are actually standing up to it.
Just to give you a small perspective, Mubi is a London-based global streaming platform. It's a production company and a film distributor as well. So them saying no to $100 million, you can't even count the zeros sometimes, it's so complicated. $100 million, they said no to it from Sequoia Capital, only for the reason because Sequoia is already participating with a lot of countries, has invested in a lot of countries, which are part of the Israel setup, which is causing a genocide in Gaza. We all see every day what's happening. As Word said, and everyone says, one of the most documented film, photo, written word, everywhere that you see, it's one of the most documented genocide in the history of the world. And it's not a small history, it's a very big 2,000-year history that we started documenting even before that. We've never seen such a big documented genocide. So it's a very great move coming from Mubi. I would love, and I think one of the most interesting thing that about this story is it's always the arts people, the creative people, the filmmakers who are actually taking a stand. You look at startups, not saying about this region, but
No,
outside.
but Fadi Gandoor is doing a great job there.
Yeah, obviously.
He's doing a great job, I think.
He's leading the onslaught on them through that petition. My main point is always, always, always you see these arts people. There's so many actors in Hollywood who are coming out and they're like, and some of them from day one. Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, one of the guys I love, from day one, he lost 1 or 2 contracts, movies because of that. It's like, no, I'm still going to say it's a genocide and what is happening in Gaza is wrong.
But
So
I
there's
think,
so many
Majid,
people.
like
Yeah.
even when you think of the history of Sequoia Capital, you know, they've
Yeah.
invested in companies like Apple and Zoom. And if Sequoia
Yeah.
Capital partners think the way that Sean Maguire does, you have to ask yourself, these tech companies that they channel all this money into, what do they think? You know, where is their money going? And that's a wrap for today, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Smashi Business Show. Make sure to follow us across all social media channels at Smashi Business and stay ahead with our daily newsletter. You'll find the subscription link in the description.
This has been a Smashi Business Show, Smashi Business production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. A big shout out to our 2.5 million listeners, I think, the last update. We're trying to reach 10 million before the end of the year. You guys can help us. Share the message, share the podcast, share the episode, share whatever you can. And thank you so much. We are also celebrating 10 years of our parent company, Augustus Media, this September. So if you follow Love in Dubai or any Love in channel, which is our sister company, there's a hashtag going on, send it to Lovin, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, you can use that, send your stories throughout the years. We're doing a very nice video series where we're showing you what happened in the last 10 years, community stories, what we covered, what you guys sent us and we covered. So keep an eye out for that as well and have a great day. We have Smashi Sports Show today as well at 12 UAE time. So tune in for that if you're interested in the world of sports in the Gulf region. We're talking about Ronaldo and Mo Salah, etc., etc. Thank you very much. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.